I don't quite know what to do with that, Ryan. Somehow my dreams came true. It's not like I was walking around thinking like thoughts of a serial killer. He makes me laugh all day long.
Charlie, always good to see
Good
you.
to see you too. How are you?
I'm very well. You know what? Every time I've interviewed you, I always get good guy vibes off you. And I do wonder how flattering or not it is for you when they come to you with a role like this. And they're like, we think you'd play a great serial killer.
Right.
You kind of look like him. Like, what's that like?
It's funny, I was doing an interview the other day with Ryan Murphy, who's the creator of the show, and offered me this job. And he'd never told me this, but somebody asked him why he wanted me to play the role. And he said, just as he was starting to write this and do all of his research about Ed Gein, he'd seen a paparazzi picture of me where he said, I just thought he looked haunted. And there was something about it where I looked at him and I thought of Ed Gein. I said, I don't quite know what to do with that, Ryan. But yeah, I was really surprised.
Yeah.
But honestly, the quality of this franchise of monsters is so high. And Evan Peters, who played Dahmer, I thought was so spectacularly brilliant that I just really felt flattered to be invited to be part of this franchise that was already so well established and had been so well received by the world.
I have to say though, I was quite surprised to hear the voice
Sure.
of Ed when I watched it. Was there anything about him that surprised you that you maybe weren't expecting, like when you were learning about him?
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, I have to be careful how I talk about this because as an actor, my job is definitely not is specifically never to have any judgment about the character. I just have to understand him. And I don't want to be too empathetic and let him off the hook because he did terrible things. But what constantly I found in the research was just how sympathetic I felt to him in his early years before he started committing crimes because he was like lived in total isolation. His only friend, his only relationship his whole life was with his mother, and she told him every day that she hated him because he wasn't born the daughter that she'd wanted. And so in his first, so she died when he was 41, and then he lived in complete isolation, utterly alone, having no contact with the world for 2 years. And he was so lonely that at 43, the first crime he ever committed was going to the graveyard to dig his mom up to bring her home. And you
Yeah.
start to hear details like that, and you think like just this, that you can't help but feel a bit heartbroken for this man.
Yeah.
But then, of course, it's complicated because then he did these horrendous crimes. But just in question, your question about the voice, that grew out of feeling as though his mother was the only person he ever knew. All he wanted was her love and acceptance. So how would that have impacted him, like him being told every day that she
Yeah.
hated him because he wasn't a girl? And so that's sort of where the voice grew out
Right.
of.
I've heard you speaking a lot about like, when you finished it, bringing yourself out of like, being in this dark place and going to the grave and everything, saying your goodbyes. But during filming, do you like to stay in that quite a dark place when you're doing this? Or do you try and find lighter moments and like bring yourself out of it?
Listen, I was working with one of my best friends and my favorite human beings in the world, Max Winkler, who directed this 6 of these episodes, and
Yeah.
he makes me laugh all day long, and so we definitely found some levity. But I stayed in it as much as it requires an enormous amount of focus to be somebody that's so different from myself.
Yeah.
And I was working all the time. I mean, I would work 14, 15 hours a day on set, and then I'd go home and have 3 hours of homework to do. So I stayed in it as much as like you have to stay in something like this just to remain focused and it clear in your mind. But it's not like I was walking around thinking like thoughts of a serial killer, because
Right.
that's not good for anyone.
Thank God. And listen, I'm over here in the UK. So I've known since the Biker Grove days and then, Queer as Folk. And like to see you going on, and obviously Sons of Anarchy made you such a big name in the US. Like, do you take time to reflect on just how far you've come.
It was an interesting thing. Like when I came to America for the first time I ever went to America was to New York, and I was with a friend of mine who was worked in the costume department on Queer as Folk, and we just finished doing Queer as Folk, and we said, let's go on like a trip to New York. And one of the things she'd really wanted to do was go for brunch at the Plaza, because she thought that would be like impossibly like elegant and like an exciting, like luxurious, chic thing to do. And I remember like feeling like so outside, like so that I didn't belong to this world. I'm like a, working class kid from Newcastle having brunch at the Plaza, and then cut to 27 years later, our after party for the premiere of this was at the Plaza, and I was kind of like the main attraction. So yeah, I mean, I definitely look back and think like with an enormous amount of gratitude, and can't quite believe that somehow my dreams came true.
Aw, you know what? We're really happy for you, Charlie. It's always lovely to see you shine. You won the good one, so.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Good luck with this. Good luck with everything else, and hopefully we'll see you in person again very soon.
All right. Thanks. Great to see you.
Thanks, Charlie.
Bye-bye.